Dear students of English literature, today in this lecture 2 English version lecture, our topic is a lament that is composed by P.B. Shelley. Students, the poem A Lament is the swan song of this poet P.B. Shelley. P.B. Shelley is from the romantic, is one of the best well-known romantic poets. This is the last poem of this poet, that is why it is called the swan song of P.B. Shelley. Students, this poem is very pessimistic in tone, and it's full of grief and dejection. In this poem, a poet is very sad and he is dejected. He has no hope in his life. Now you can see the poem is an outcome of the poet's disappointment and failure of his life. The poet imagines that he is standing on the last steps of time. Students, he looks at the past of his life with a faint heart and feels that his death is approaching him. He regrets that his youthful vigor and joys of life will not return anymore. Now his days and nights are dull and joyless. He has nothing to enjoy in his life, and the beauty of the nature isn't giving him joy, but they are increasing his grief. Students, it reflects purely from his first stanza. You can see here, and this poem consists of 2 stanzas, 5 lines each. O world, O life, O time, on whose last steps I climb. Students, in this poem, the poet is addressing the world, life and time. Students, he is very dejected in his mood, and he has no hope in his life to live happily. He is comparing his life to a ladder, and he thinks as he is approaching to the last step of the ladder. He thinks that his life has come to an end. He compares his life to a ladder, I have already told you, and he is standing on the last steps. He feels that the time allotted to him coming to close. Trembling at that where I had stood before. Now the poet is comparing his present to his past, that where he was standing with power and with consistency, now he is not able to do so. When will return the glory of your prime? He is questioning the world, life and time, that when they would give him the vigor, the power and the prime of his life. Means the poet has lost his power of youth, the poet has lost the power of his influence. Now he is asking world, life and time whether they will give him his power, his glory and his vigor again. No more or never more. He thinks that it is going never to be given to him. Students, let's revise it. The poet is addressing O world, O life and time, life, time and world. Here in this first line, apostrophe figure of speech is used beautifully. Apostrophe figure of speech is a figure of speech in which non-living things and abstract ideas and absent things are addressed as living beings. Now world, life and time are addressed as living being. Now the poet is saying that on whose last steps I climb, means he is going to face the last phase of life, means he is going up the ladder and he is approaching the last steps of the ladder. I mean, his life is going to finish. He has no chance to live more in his life now. He has no power to go up as trembling at that where I had stood before, means the place where he used to stand boldly with power, with vigor, but now he has no power because he is trembling. His hands and feet and his body are shaking. They have no more vigor, they have no more strength to suffer the duration of standing. The power, he has no vitality to face the challenges of the world. When will return the glory of your prime? And he demands and asks for his old power of youth. Prime means the main time of his life, the youth of the poet. He is trying to take back his power of his youth, of his young age, but he thinks that nothing will come to him, and nothing will come to him, and there is no chance that he would gain anything in life. Out of the day and night in the second stanza means the time is passing, everything is fleeting. Students, a joy has taken flight, and students, all the happiness of the poet has gone away from him, and he is very sad. The poet's days and nights are dull and joyless, they have become cheerless to him. The beauty of the nature, such as blooming spring and sunny weather, is meaningless for him. Fresh spring and summer and winter hoar means to come there, to feel, to make the poet feel itself, it's useless for the poet. Means the happiness of the poet has gone from him. A joy has taken flight, means there is no joy for the poet now. He has lost everything out of that day and night, and everything is turning into nothing just as the days and nights are passing. Fresh spring and summer and winter, they are meaningless for him, and their pleasure is nothing for him. You can understand again, these three seasons, I mean, every ray of hope for giving pleasure is not responding to him, and he is very negative in achieving all this. He says, move my faint heart with grief, but with delight no more, O never more. Students, in these lines the poet says, instead of sending a thrill of delight into his heart, they only intensify his grief. But actually he wants the beauty of nature, which used to fill him with joy in the past, now only adds to sorrow and disappointment. Students, now please take it once again. Out of the day and night, a joy has taken flight, means the joys which he used to have with him are passing and turning into nothing. The seasons which used to give him pleasure and joy, now they are filling, move my faint heart with grief. They are not giving him pleasure, but they are filling his heart with more sadness and problems. Now he says, but with delight no more, and oh never more. He thinks any delight, any relax, any comfort, he is not going to achieve at all. Now he is totally pessimistic here, and he thinks no happiness is approaching him. He has lost everything, and it is the last time of the poet. Students, I hope you have liked this poem, and if you like this poem, please subscribe our channel Oracy Classes of English Language. Students, the concerned written material is available, and if you require the explanation and other help in solution, please you can write to us in comment box, and it will be provided you with all these things. Thanks.